PFL versus Bellator. Let's talk about it.
I see my haters proud of me now. When I'm around, it's all smiles. I took over my whole town.
To get it out of the way, I feel like the card was a solid 6.5, maybe 7. You can round up if you want to. The first two fighters on the card, I feel like they was just there because the fight card was in Saudi Arabia. So we're going to go ahead and skip past that, even though the second fight did end up in a finish. Pretty solid finish at that. So that brings us to the Claressa Shields fight versus Kelsey DeSantis. I don't really like the experiment with Claressa Shields coming into MMA. I don't personally, but if you like it, you feel me, let her broaden her horizons. I feel like if you're really, really good at something, you should stick to that. I know there's not that many female boxers that can challenge her, or there was. I don't know the women's boxing landscape. Sorry. If you do, I don't. Put me on game down in the comments. Who could she fight in boxing? But yeah, she looked like the wrestling is still something she needs to work on. But besides that, she did end up getting the finish. She looks really, really good on the feet, which you would expect from a boxer. But she got the win. Can't be too mad about it. On to the next one. After that, we have Biagio Ali Walsh making his MMA pro debut. He looks solid. He looks solid. I wish he would have went more for the finish. I feel like he's trying to conserve his energy a little bit during the fight. He didn't want to gas out or anything like that. The person he was fighting really, really wanted to fight on the ground. He was pulling guard and not doing anything with the guard, which was kind of, I mean, who do you blame for that fight? Biagio won, but who do you blame for that fight? It wasn't the most exciting fight, especially for this to be on PFL marquee event, saying this is going to be one of the bigger events of all time. You don't want to have a fight like that with somebody that you feel like you want to elevate within the MMA world. And yeah, I mean, it was okay. Not my favorite fight on the card, maybe towards the bottom of it, which it should be. It's on prelims. It's on the prelims. Aaron Pico versus Henry Corrales in the rematch. Aaron Pico looked fantastic coming into that fight. I mean, it looked like he's grown a lot since their first fight. Yeah, first round finish. You can't really get too much better than that. He dominated pretty much the entire fight. He got a little hyper a little bit, like towards the, I want to say the middle of the first round. But I mean, he got the finish at the end of it, so it really doesn't really matter how it looked. What goes on the record book is a first round finish over Aaron Pico, and he got his W back. Congrats to him. I wonder if he's going to be in the upcoming season of the PFL. Hopefully he is, because I love it. It would
have been illegal if it landed on the head.
They can carry you, Aaron. 15 seconds, Aaron. 15 seconds.
Nice, nasty left hands. This might be the end for Corrales, who's covering up, and a flurry of elbows. We will not.
And kicking off their main card, they have AJ McKee versus Clay Collard. I've been saying it for a while. Well, this is a new channel, but I've been saying it for a while. AJ McKee is one of the best 145-pound guys not in the UFC. Him in the UFC, I think he's instantly top 10. I'll have to look at it. Maybe I'll make a video on that too. But AJ McKee made Clay Collard look like an amateur. I mean, AJ McKee caught him. It looked like Clay Collard completely ate it. But on the ground, AJ McKee took over, and it showed that there's levels in this situation. And with that being done, Bellator started the night 1-0 against their boss, PFL. Following that fight, we had Yoel Romero versus Thiago Santos, a couple of 40-year-olds who probably shouldn't be fighting. I mean, Yoel Romero still at 47 years old is really, really athletic, and that's a crazy thing to see. Not the most exciting fight. The leg kicks that Yoel Romero was throwing was really, really getting to Thiago, and I can't blame him. I mean, Thiago, both his knees was messed up from that John Jones fight, and I'm still just surprised to see him fighting at a pretty high level at this point in his career, which I don't think it's going to be too many more fights for him. He said he feels great. I don't think he's able to. I don't want to see him fight no more. I'm putting him. It's not as bad as Tony Ferguson, but I'm putting him in that Tony Ferguson tier where you can walk away now, bro. It's like you gave us highlights. It's all right. Go to the sunset. What's next for a 47-year-old Yoel Romero? I have no idea. I don't know what the PFL has planned for him, but Hopefully it's something fun if he still wants to fight. Y'all gotta learn how to let the trigger go. I know he's older. He might not have the trigger to pull no more, but man, I was just watching like that, like, do something. Following that fight, we have Vadim Nemkov versus Bruno Capoloza. Vadim Nemkov is making his heavyweight debut, and he looked absolutely fantastic. He looked like he was still running around at 205 pounds. I mean, he's going to be an issue for that division, in my opinion. Now, what the PFL is going to do, how they're going to do their season, and how they're going to figure out how to make this tournament work with all these fighters is yet to be seen. But Vadim Nemkov looked really, really good. I mean, it's pretty much down. He did get caught. But he ate it pretty well. Got the takedown. Can't be too mad about it. He finished the fight. And like I said, you can rock whatever you want to, as long as you can finish it conventionally. No pain. Well, that don't make no sense, but he got the job done. And he got a belt. One of the fights I was most interested in seeing after they took off Pitbull was this fight right here. Ray Cooper III versus Jason Jackson. You could tell Ray Cooper took this fight on short notice, and he did not look good. I think he's over the hump. I think he's been over for a little while now. Jason Jackson looked really, really good. I mean, the leg kicks hurt him. Came out for that second round, hit him with one, and went in for the kill. Almost a flawless performance for him, if not 10 out of 10 performance for Jason Jackson going into this next stretch of his career. Like again, I really am interested. I really am interested in seeing how this PFL format works with all these Bellator fighters coming in, and pretty much a big influx of talent for Bellator and PFL. It should be pretty fun if they can make it work right. And with that performance, Bellator has went up a whopping 4-0 on their owners, on their bosses. In the co-main event of the night, we have Johnny Eblen versus Impa Kasanganay. Johnny Eblen, a lot of people disagree. A lot of people feel like Impa pulled it off. I feel like Johnny wrestling he handled business. It wasn't the most exciting fight. He is not the best 170-pound fighter in the world. That's pretty evident now. I mean, Impa Kasanganay is he's still this guy. He has gotten a lot better, but the kid, Buckley, who did that, is still not ranked in the UFC. And I'm just saying, Johnny Eblen lost all claim to that. He lost all potential claim to that when he wasn't able to dominate somebody like an Impa Kasanganay. Yeah, Bellator snuck by with this one, and they went up a whopping 5-0 on the bosses. That is crazy. And in the main event of the night, Renan Ferreira versus Ryan Bader. I don't know who expected this to go any type of different. I mean, Renan Ferreira starched him. Ryan Bader looked like he didn't belong in the octagon with Ferreira. And that's a crazy thing to say. Ryan Bader should probably retire, because I do not think anything else is available for him. Like, who is he gonna fight? I don't think he competes for a title. I mean, he did beat up an old Fedor, which I don't give that win to him, because it's not really a prime Fedor. I mean, Fedor was like, what, 44, 45, and that fight happened. He might not have been that old, but he was pretty old. Yeah, and PFL is able to avoid the sweep, which would have been catastrophic for that company, but it is what it is. They won the best. Well, they won the biggest weight class, which is always a good thing. You got to claim to the baddest man on the planet. And with that fight being done, that sets up a whole new mega fight. I don't know. Is Ferreira a superstar to call it a mega fight? But Francis Ngannou is coming into town later this year versus him and Ferreira, which I would assume would headline the champion versus champion, or the tournament ender, or headlining the main event of that card. You know what I'm saying? Where they have all the titles on the belt and the $1 million checks. I feel like it's going to be the headliner of that card, or I would assume. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. The PFL did put up dates for the regular season. Might try to catch one of them. I don't know yet. But how did you guys feel about the fights? Let me know. How did y'all feel about UFC Mexico? I don't want to do a whole video on it, because there's like 3 or 4 fights that I really cared about. The rest of them, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really watch. But yeah, how did you guys feel about the fights? Let me know. Like always, be good people. Peace.